Hey friends, give me 7 minutes and you'll understand NAICS codes and small business size standards so you can strategically position your business to win more contracts. So let's jump in. Your NAICS code identifies what your business sells. In other words, what industry you're in. And one of the reasons NAICS codes are so important is that the small business size standards are based on NAICS codes. So let me show you exactly how this works. To find your NAICS codes, you go to the website census.gov/NAICS. And this website allows us to do a keyword search. So let's walk through some examples together. Let's say you're a janitorial company. The first 2 results we see here are for wholesalers, and the third is for equipment and supplies stores. So if you're providing janitorial services, then the NAICS code is 561720. Now let's try landscaping. And here, tells us the NAICS code is 561730. Maybe your company provides administrative support, so let's search for that. The first 4 don't look like a match, but I see 2 of them that are for services. Code 541611 is for administrative management consulting services, and code 561110 is for administrative management services. So if you're an administrative firm, you just found 2 NAICS codes, and SAM requires that you enter a primary NAICS code, but it also gives you the option to enter 1 or more secondary codes. And here's a tip for you. Most of you are going to want to list multiple codes in SAM because the work your company does could be put out for bid under a number of different codes. Now, you know you want to qualify as a small business because there are contracts that are set aside for small businesses. And the thing the government uses to determine whether your business qualifies as a small business is called the Small Business Size Standard. So what does that mean, size standard? Well, the size standard defines the largest size a business can be to remain classified as a small business. And the thing to understand is that each NAICS code has its own size standard. So each industry has its own definition of what is a small business. Now, the size standards are stated either in terms of the maximum number of employees or the maximum average annual receipts of the business. You'll see that manufacturing typically uses number of employees, while services typically uses average annual receipts. But the key thing here is that size standards are specified by NAICS code and can vary widely from industry to industry. It means that your business may qualify as a small business under one NAICS code, but not under a different NAICS code. Let's walk through some examples to make this clearer. We start by downloading the SBA Table of Small Business Size Standards. And by the way, you may also want to use this table to scan for additional NAICS codes that might apply to your business. So now I'm going to page down in the document and find the NAICS codes for administrative and support services. And we see them here. The way this table works, the NAICS code is listed in the left-hand column, and for each code, there's a size standard listed on the right. So for example, let's look at NAICS code 561110 for Office Administrative Services. It has a size standard of $12.5 million. In other words, to qualify as a small business under a solicitation issued under NAICS code 561110, your average annual receipts must be under $12.5 million. If your company's average annual receipts totaled $12.6 million, it wouldn't be eligible to bid on a small business solicitation issued under NAICS code 561110, but it would be eligible to bid on a small business solicitation under NAICS code 561210. That's the NAICS code for facilities support services, and we see that the size standard for that code is $47 million. Okay, now let's take a look at some manufacturing NAICS codes where the size standard is specified in terms of number of employees rather than annual receipts. You see that in the right-hand column of this table. Here we see if your NAICS code is 325520 for adhesive manufacturing, the size standard is 500 employees. But if your NAICS code is 325992, the size standard is 1,500 employees. So, if you're in the business of photographic film manufacturing and you have fewer than 1,500 employees, then your business qualifies as a small business for federal contracts. Government contracts are all classified by NAICS code. So now that you know your NAICS codes, you can use them to search for contracts to bid on. And since there are lots of government contracts that are only available to small businesses, the best way to get in on government contracts is to focus on those NAICS codes where your business qualifies as a small business. And once you've selected your NAICS codes and registered your business in SAM, you can start bidding on government contracts. To learn how to bid on those contracts, watch this video next. It walks you through the process step by step, so you'll have the confidence to start bidding on those contracts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.